Welcome back to part 37. Right, so lots of work last time on the suiting room. A number of other things I said I wanted to do last time that didn't get to, but we'll see how far we get this time. So I'm going to try to sort out the remaining work in the gas annex. I want to get us into a state that we do actually have a workable fuel set up, and also we want to have some processing in place for nitrous. Go, put that on there. Not that it's got any cylinders in it, but tidies it up. Right, let's get that going. Bound to need that. Okay, so we do definitely need a load more pipes. Again, could be another episode of pipes. Hopefully we don't need quite as many as we did the last time. But I'm going to assume we're probably going to need, whoops, maybe not 50. Probably going to need 30. So we'll get that going. Before we do, actually, I want to see what I need for an insulated liquid tank. I'm going to need more silicon. That's good, that's smelting. Okay. Right, let's just get that going anyway. I'm going to need another atmospherics device in order to separate out the nitrous. I'm going to try and hold that as a liquid. That just makes sense. So we'll get these made. And then we'll go and see about plumbing that in. So the fuel, we know we have a mixer. I'm wondering whether I can at least start some of the remaining cabling work as well, actually. Bit short on copper there, but we have plenty here. Uh, 30 should be enough. Probably far more than enough. Right, that's now run out. Let's get the remaining silicon in there. Okay. We'll need a transformer as well. Right, grab that. I would like to get on with some of the structural work on the main hab as well, but I think we need to do this first. One of the main reasons I want some work doing on the main hab structure, though, is I do really want to set up a proper warning network after the issues we had with the power. Because I think the problem with that is that that is clearly an issue that could repeat in future. I'm not sure how many of this it's actually attempting to make now. I feel like it must have had some... okay, there we are. Maybe already in the queue? No, anyway, there we are. Right, we've got 36, that's fine. Right, so we need an insulated liquid tank. We will want some more insulated liquid pipes. And we'll need some pressure and Purge valves. Actually, I don't think I necessarily need a purge valve, but I need a pressure and I need a an expansion valve to avoid it blowing up. Transformer. I'm never going to be able to move all this stuff, am I? But trying to solve for too many different problems in the same go, I think. Right, well, that's the liquid tank. And we've run out of silicon again. And we're not even smelting anymore, so I shall have to go find some and get that going. Okay, let's go there. Right, in the meantime, what I do know I need is an atmospherics, which I should be able to make one of. And a nitrous filter. I don't think I can make... Oh, I could make medium. It's worth considering for the nitrogen in particular, actually, because we are filtering quite a lot of that. But we'll just make a normal one for the nitrous. I only need one anyway for now. We haven't got huge volumes of it. I just want to start organising it. Right, so let's throw these in here. And those can be stacked there. And then, of course, that's one too many. Never mind. It's a bit of a double-edged sword having an airlock here. It's a useful place to dump stuff on the way through. But on the other hand, it means I have to dump stuff on the way through. So, whereas when this was all in a vacuum, I could obviously just run backwards and forwards. But there we go. Let's throw that in there. We will need some more liquid pipes, so let's interrupt this. Grab that. Insulated liquid. We'll make the 4 of those. We've got enough steel left for. I'm actually going to have to make some more steel soon, aren't I? After making what I thought was an enormous batch the last time. We're almost out again. I think I'm okay for normal cable. Yes, I am. Okay, so that's probably everything we need out of that. Grab those. Right, and then I need iron. I need one reg and I need one valve. Probably that's enough for now. Okay, I'm sure I've forgotten at least one thing, but I think that'll be enough to get going. Put that in there. Right, okay, let's go get on with it. It's very hot in there. Not that there's much gas, but what there is very hot. Get in front of the stuff before it blows everywhere. Right, okay. We're going to have to do 2 trips anyway, aren't we? So, although I think what I might do is drop some of these in here. Damn, I should have brought one. I dropped one more. Oh well. Right. Okay, the transformer's going to go inside. But I want the cable out here. Right. And then I cut a load of this away last time, so where's the end? There it is. Okay, so we'll chuck that on there. That's nice and green. I actually put more of this in than I'd realised. That's okay. Right. Now this is where it gets messy because I'm going to have to run it inside. I might have to run it along the top because I don't want to just cut the whole system. That won't go through there because there's already cable. It's a problem right across. Okay, well, I'll have to deal with that from the inside, won't I? At least I'll get this routed correctly here. Right, there we go. It's probably far more than I needed, really, but throw that there. Check I've got that. And I'll take that. Actually, think about it, there was some orange paint back there which could well be useful since I'm working on the fuel lines, so I'll grab that. What I should have probably done was to make a tank for the fuel as well, which I forgot to do. That was dumb. Never mind. Right. Many things. We'll just let the... Oh, why is this only at 5 kPa? Oh, this is not turned on. That's surprising. If we just filtered out everything, we just eventually run out of gas in here from me running this. I guess we have. Okay, right. So data network is the issue with where we need to bring that power in, because we're going to bring it in there. I'm going to reconfigure all of that power network, and eventually, well, not eventually, as a direct result, I'm going to segment it from that. Right, let's first things first. You're coming off there and going there. And as a result, you're coming off there. And you're getting a new colour. I think I started thinking I'd do this in white, but I decided on reflection that yellow will be a little easier to see against the walls. So we're having yellow in here. Right, normal old problem of colour everything in. Try and avoid using all of the paint I own. It's a bit tedious, but it works. I do feel some of the cabling here is a little bit overly complicated. That bit I'm looking at you in particular. That was right. Okay, let's do these. Yeah, this bit feels a bit unnecessary as well to have two cables quite so close together. Problem is trying to get the cables around the pipes. Sort of thing where you think you can save a bit, but actually you can't really. Right. Now that's an interesting point. It's worth knowing that the furnace is on this loop. that can just come off. Right. I've got to do all this end as well, but get there in a minute. Can't even get in there. That's a painted job then. Yeah, that's not having it, is it? No, it's really not. It's a good opportunity to clean up a bit because the cabling in here has, shall we say, evolved over time. Right. Okay, I have more to do. I'll come back and deal with that end in a minute. Let's do that one. Do that one. Right, there we go. Okay. I managed that with no paint use so far, but that won't last long. Right, so that is going to go into there. Now I need to lift this data network away from here. That's a bit fiddly, isn't it? I can't actually get at it in there. They're demolishing the door, which I don't really want to do. Okay, well, we'll just have to... Oh, maybe I can. Maybe I just was looking at the wrong bit. No, come on. I could do it like that. Right, hang on. Nearly, but not quite. And that one across there, there we go. Across there. Oh, one more. No, in there. And in there. Okay, there we go. Right, now I should be able to bring the heavy cable in. Through there. No, I do not want it to go that way. Actually, let's bring it like that. And then down there. No, just, that's it. Thank you. Into there. Nice, okay. I'll throw that over there for a minute. Right, now then. Should be able to cut this first, otherwise we'll cause all sorts of mayhem. Right, that should be everything off. Everything is off. Except obviously for the sterling. Yep, everything is off. And obviously the one that's running off the data network. And turn that one up. And everything is on. Good. Okay, I ought to be naming these as we go, because later I'm going to want to connect them. So this is transformer Atmo. Okay, good. Right, now then. Stick that there for now. Okay, so the next thing is the slightly tedious job of getting all the rest of this cable correctly coloured. Let's connect that to there, and then I can just run that straight across. Be a bit more efficient in terms of cable. Right, this is actually kind of fiddly because I've left too much junk on the floor. Might settle for I've done enough that I can see what I've done. Now, right, okay. Okay, let's go and start on the atmospherics. Of course it needs a frame, doesn't it? So I will have to see if it will let me stick a frame underneath, otherwise we'll have to put it downstairs, which will be really annoying. No, because composite wall, so which, oh, that's that wall there, okay. That's fixable. Ha! I win. Whoops. Right, so bring that pipe up there. I could just connect it right to there, couldn't I? I think I'm going to move it one further out. Mind you, I've got quite a lot to connect. No, we'll move it one further out. Just slightly neater. Right, okay, we'll get that in there. We'll get that done there. That into there. Right, now. Best way to do this. I think we will connect that there, although it's clipping through and I don't really like that. We would have liked not to have the others clipping through, so let's... No, you're alright vertically, it was horizontally. I wanted you one further towards me. There? Yes, I guess so. Right. I need that. Oh, I haven't got much of that left, have I? Right, okay. Gonna need to print some more of that because we're gonna have a few green things, but in the short term let's just do that so at least I can tell. Right, the cabling needs to go this side. Oh, wait, whoa, what the hell is going on? Why did that suddenly combust? Genuinely don't understand why that suddenly combusted. I mean, looking at the contents of the room, I can kind of understand, but I don't understand what suddenly caused that to actually ignite at that moment. Which worries me a little bit, but not enough to stop. Right, let's grab those. Let's grab, I'll need that. I'll need those. It's the valve, there it is. I need that. Yeah, that is quite weird actually. Oh well, let's not worry too much. Famous last words. Right, this will need painting at some point, but in the short term, what I need to do is work out a mechanism to get right, so let's have an expansion valve pointing back. Gonna need to run it there. I haven't left myself quite enough space, actually. That's broadly what it needs to do, but that tank now needs to shove across a bit, and then there's not quite space because of the other things. This is where it turns out that my clever plan...
Hydration critical.
And I've just rotated that in completely the wrong direction. Can't even work out what button I need to press to get it to go the right way up now. There we go. What if I put it there? That's probably about the only way I can do it. That's now clipping through the wall in an annoying way, but it's going to have to. It's a shame, but you know, it's all I can do. Right, I do have some other... Yeah, it's going to have to go like that because that's only just enough space to connect that like that. Then this is going to have to come out of here and go like that. And that's going to need to be connected. Not there, but you know, almost there. No, I'm going to have to go downstairs and deal with that. That one comes out of there. I'm not sure that's supposed to let me do that. That's now inside this. If that was a normal pipe, it would not let me. That means I inherently expect that at some point it's going to glitch horribly, so I'm going to cable it as if it was a normal pipe and I couldn't clip through it. And I have to go across. I'll thank myself later for that. Right, so this here goes... Let's go up and cut across. Ah. Okay, so that's that lot connected. Let's take this frame out now. You can go there. They can go back there. Beautiful. Right, okay, let's just do a little bit of this cable work. Really sure I know what goes where under there now. There's clearly some that goes there. Right. go. Then we'll have one that does that. Okay. Might spray the rest, but that's the start, isn't it? Yeah, I think we'll spray those. Right, those ones can go in there. Any more going up the wall? Actually there is, but there shouldn't be. Right. Whoops. Right, there we are. Okay, I think that's about 2/3 of the cables tidied up anyway. I do realise when you do this that there's an awful lot of spaghetti up there that could probably be simplified. But there we are. That's how it goes. Welcome to Stationeers and all that. No, you're seriously not going to let me get in there, are you? Okay, that's just annoying. Yeah, the problem in a room like this is trying to get the cables around the pipes. You end up doing crazy routings of both of them. And then kind of think, well, if I'd known that was going to happen, I wouldn't have started like this. But there we go. Almost done. I realise this is not exactly riveting. It's meditative or something. Right, there we go. I have no idea where that actually connects to anywhere else, but right, cool. Okay, that's those for now, so let's just put those down. It's a sort of task that's not value add until you connect the wrong thing to the wrong thing, and then you go, oh yeah, I wish I'd coloured that correctly. Oh, I've nearly run out of yellow paint. And that one is done. Yeah, I'm going to need a new can. Okay, well, you can go through there for recycling. Right, okay, well, it's a start, isn't it? Definitely got a bit more painting to do, but this is now running on its own power network, so that's a good state to be in. Right, next off, this is running up there. Got to figure out where to get it through the floor above first, haven't I? Before we do anything else. Ultimately, I'm going to want to run the fuel all the way along. At some point, I'm going to have to switch it over that and under that, or behind, or something, because I'm going to want it there. Okay. Right. And I also just noticed that I haven't actually cabled up the fuel mixer. Right, so the fuel left to its own device is going to come up behind here. So it's alright if I run it up through there, that can work. Let's try that. I'm going to turn that on. Right, now the other thing I want to just look at while we're here is nitrous. Okay, so we are currently at external temperature of 21 Celsius. So at 21 Celsius, we need a pressure of about, well, let's assume it gets a bit hot. I don't want this evaporating just because it hits, say, 30. So 1100 kPa should be enough. So that's the setting I want on there. We'll end up with 1150, but that's fine. Well, 1250 gives me a bit of capacity. This obviously needs some logic to automate. We don't want it to just run constantly. Obviously at the moment that's just going to sit there as a very low pressure gas, but I want to get into a state that we are pressurising that as a liquid. Obviously got an expansion valve there. I need an emergency overflow. Oh yeah, we ran out of green, didn't we, as well? Okay, let's get rid of the green as well, so I don't keep picking up and getting confused. There's no more green there, is there? No. I didn't need any of those extras there, though. Right. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Need one insulated in there. Right, okay, that's good. So that should allow it to surprised we've got condensation in the pipe there. I mean, it should pump it through, but I'm slightly concerned. I know that's going down, not up. Okay, I need to probably put an expansion valve on there as well. Which is going to be an interesting one. Where am I going to fit that? It's probably going to have to hang down here. Honestly. I'm going to have to go and deal with that health problem in a minute, aren't I? Yeah, I'm going to have to put an expansion valve in parallel underneath. Which is a bit mental, but that's where it's going to have to go. Okay, I get it. I'm going to have to give up on this build soon. I understand. Right. However, before I do, so one thing I will do is quickly add this piece of piping. Ready to fit an expansion in there. Right, okay, now, so if that can come through there, question is, can I get that? Is it as simple as I can get that across there and connect it? Yes, it is. Well, that was a nice surprise. Right, that still needs to be cabled up. Probably not too difficult to cable it from here. May regret saying that in about 2 seconds' time, but no, there we go. Look at that. That needs to be set, so that's input and that's input 2. So we want other way round. As close as we're going to get. Let's grab those out. If I can even pick that one up, I cannot. It has done the annoying thing. Thank you. Actually, given that it's just done the annoying thing and that I don't need it for the moment, let's just dump it in there. Right, question is, can I do this before I have to abandon it? I'll wait until my hunger gets a little bit lower. Not much. Right, okay, so I'm going to run this up to the ceiling. Might just try running it straight along there, honestly. Quite nice if it just worked, wouldn't it? Trying to work out where the end is. There. Okay, actually this will work, because I can then run it along and just drop it down somewhere through the other side. Obviously going to need more pipes, which is hardly a surprise. But for now, let's just put one through, say, there, so I can see where I need to connect it to. Okay. Right, so can we estimate how many we need? So a 10 will do 2 blocks, so that will take it to about there. Another 10 to about there, so that's 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But a 10 actually only needs 8 pipes. So oops. Will actually only be, I think, 21 more pipes. Pick up. Pick up. Oh my god, I hate paint cans. There we go. Right. I'm not expecting there to be any pressure. In fact, I'm hoping this is going to be very, very close to 0 by now, since this has been aggressively pumping it out. Right, okay, let's go and deal with my health issues first. Okay, I don't think I have any food in here. No, I don't. Let's go and pick a potato. We're also again out of CO2. I'm actually going to keep one of these potatoes in the fridge just in case we lose the food crop. Do still have quite the problem with CO2.
Anti-critical.
Right, at some point I shall modify this to reduce how much is being pulled out locally here, but okay, for now that's enough to keep me alive. Let's go back to work. Okay, there we are. That's meant that what temperature there is in here is a little bit less unpleasant. Right, so I think I need 23, I said, didn't I? So let's I'll make 24 because I'd rather have a spare than have not enough. Although we've run out of steel. I really am going to have to make some more steel soon. Right. Okay. Nothing else useful to me in there, but always worth looking. So we'll let that do its thing there. Now, once that's done, the other bit I want to check. Oh, I need some more yellow and green paint, didn't I? Right, how are we getting on? Nearly there. Right, so I need another valve so I can make the expansion valve. This is nearly done. Okay, and then this should be the last one. No, maybe not. Oh, maybe there were more in there than I'd appreciated. I assumed it was empty, but clearly it wasn't. Okay, well, we've got spare pipe. Don't know how much yet. Hopefully not too many more. This is getting a bit boring now. I set it to 24, not 23 anyway, but yeah, come on, that's quite enough. Thank you. Stop. Right, I also need a valve for the expansion valve, and I also wanted an inline tank. We'll make a double just to hold the gaseous side so that those pipes don't pop quite so easily. Actually, I'm going to need one more of those in a minute because I'm also going to need a fuel mixer. Which means I'll need a pressure reg to actually pressurise the fuel. Unless I use a volume pump, which is faster and much more dangerous, so let's not do that. Right. And as usual, I've got slightly more than I can carry, so we'll dump them in there, dump them in there. I'm not dropping the paint unless I have to. Okay, I think that's all the bits I need now for the atmospheric side. Should be enough to connect the fuel to the face. Oh, I said I was going to make a proper fuel tank, didn't I? I'll make an insulated. No, I will not. A normal tank will be fine. Not that I've got enough to make one anyway, either way, but a normal tank, steel, and the rest of my steel. I said I was going to have to make some more. I didn't think it would be quite this soon. Yeah, it'll be alright. We're aggressively maintaining the temperature in that room. It's just another volume of fuel. Right, I probably need an IC to control some of this stuff as well. I can stick it in the filter for the nitrous. And I think I should be able to just store it in that laptop. So it won't take an additional inventory slots to carry over. Nice. Right, okay, let's go get to work. Right, throw all this in here. Wah. Is that enough? That should be enough, surely. You know this means it won't be enough, but... actually, we're good. Right, okay. Let's get this done. While we're waiting... There we go. Nice and clean and tidy. That's all of that. Right. So first things first, let's get this in here. It's an expansion valve. Let's put it so I can see it. Let's turn it on. I realise we now have green being used for two different things. That is a slight risk, but I think it's relatively small because it's quite an isolated piece of kit up here. Okay, that's all of that sprayed up. Okay, let's go and connect the rest of the fuel if we can. Right, so the easy bit. I say that, but actually I haven't decided where I'm going to put them. Oh, we're getting ignition in here again. That must be me being lazy about vacuuming properly. Yeah. Right, I think the easy bit is we're going to put this here. Obviously not pointing in that direction. Slightly less easy bit is I need to just figure out, is there anything obstructing under here? No, there's not, so I can put the fuel tank. Which is conveniently pre-coloured. Put the fuel tank in here, and I can turn it that way to save some piping. In fact, I could turn it that way to save a bit more piping. And then try and come off the wall one. Just trying to work out, is that lined up? I think that's lined up with the other tank. Yes, it is. Nice, so if I want to connect the data ports, I can connect them both at the same time. Right, I'm actually going to do this pipe work up here, so it's a little bit easier to see what's going on later. Right. That in there, and that in there. And then what do we need in that gap? It's not a 10, that's for sure, but it might be a 5. Oh, perfect. Look at that. That was actually very good. Got loads of pipes left over. Okay, nice. Right, good, good. This lot can be put away downstairs. That's now all running. I'm going to install some circuitry in it in a moment. In the meantime, that is that. Right, okay, now I did need an overflow. So I'm going to need some pipes. I'm going to need to also to fix up the welder fuel system as well. I'm not sure where I'm going to put that. I might actually put it up here. It's mildly inconvenient compared to having it next to everything out there, but I think that will be fine. Let's I'm going to put the pipe in first. Easy to see what I'm doing then. So this, I just want a corner pointing upwards in there, and we'll spray that because it's going to be fiddly to get at in a minute. Okay, good. So that should prevent any unfortunate accidents. That's really very cold. Oh well. Right. Now, where am I going to put the fuel system? Before I do go upstairs, let's see if there's a logical place I could put it down here. I mean, I could, couldn't I? I could branch it off there. It's probably the most sensible thing to do, to be honest, is to pull that out of there. Oh, I put the wrong one in there, but the principle was good. I just chose the wrong direction. There we go. Okay. And then we'll want to pressurize it. Oh, this is a bit tedious. Come on, down to 4,000. Should have just done down first, shouldn't I? But there we go. Right, okay, that will work. Cable. Nice. Okay, and then we're going to bring that up and over and back on ourselves. Oh no, actually I've got a better idea. We'll get somewhat less in the way if I do it like this. There we go. There we are. Perfect. That should work fine. I mean, arguably you want as I've done there, an extra little overflow in that bit, but if we haven't got one, we haven't got one. What did I do with the orange paint? Oh, I've got it in my backpack. Right. Okay, so in theory that should be starting to make some fuel, as long as, well, we haven't got any oxygen, so it won't be. But if we had oxygen, it would be. That's the important thing. I see the problem. That has got all sorts of muck in it, hasn't it? That's why I keep getting minor explosions. Right, okay, that's from the incorrect connections that were made earlier on. We just have to live with that until it eventually ends up down at 0. Although I need to fix these filters. But yeah, that's why it's happening. Don't know if this filter is also out. Yes, it is. Probably need to upgrade my nitrogen filters. That'll start getting the muck out of the air in here anyway. Okay, probably a good place to stop. We've done the remaining atmospherics work, so that's good. I'll clean these filters. And while they're cleaning, I will attempt to just fix the last couple of bits of incorrectly coloured cable that I've spotted. Okay, I suspect some of the others are probably out as well. That one certainly is. Yep, okay, that may actually be why we're having CO2 problems, is that actually it could just be as simple as the filters have run out and all of our gas is sitting in there. It's not all, but there's certainly some sitting in there. Okay, let's clean all of these filters and then I will end the episode. But if I don't do it now, I'm going to have a problem, aren't I? Suspect that's out as well. Yes, it is. Right, okay. Let's do that. And that. No, I don't want that there. We'll be fine there. What I will do is set that one running while I go and switch these. Yeah, that's the problem actually. All of the filters had run out. Okay, hopefully that will start to clean things up. Pollutant still needs doing. I've only got one filter in that, so I'll have to turn that machine off whilst it runs. Just double check before I insert anything. Do not want to accidentally swap the oxygen and volatiles filters. That would be bad. Okay, right, so that's every single filter changed, cleaned. So hopefully, well, we've certainly removed the volatiles in here, although we've probably burned them off anyway. That's processing down. I can see the volume's falling. There's 10,000 moles of nitrogen in there. So, okay, hopefully that's... What I probably do want to do is suspend, now that we know we've got the fuel mixing working, I probably want to suspend that for now and reserve whatever oxygen we can get our hands on for making air. Right, Okay, that's those. Last bit. Can I reach that from here? No, I cannot. That's actually annoying. Yes, I can, but I need to not now. There we go. Okay, right, that's all the painting done, I think. Probably find some more next time, but it's most of the painting, some of the painting done. Let's stick with some. Some is good. Okay, right, so that's the gas processing running again. Definitely worth looking into some heavy filters for some of that stuff. We've still got to connect that to the furnace. That's the only thing. Now I could do that real quick, because I think that should just be a simple pipe run now. Okay, and then that should give me the ability to actually... maybe not. Something's still not connected somewhere, is it? Thought it was. Or maybe it is, but all of the... No, of course it is. It's connected, but all of the available has gone into pressurizing that. So if I turn that off, turn that on... I'm not going to make much, but I just want to just confirm that we can actually get some pressure through as far as the furnace. Make sure I haven't missed any other connections. Nice, okay, good. Right, that will do for this time. I shall go back inside. Good progress though. All of this cable can come out. Do that on the way. There we are. Perfect. There we go. Okay, so a few useful things this episode. We have separated off the atmospherics power grid. We have also completed the remaining atmospherics systems, with the exception of water processing and superfuel generation, both of which are important but probably not urgent. So that's a good start. Gives me the ability to start to sensibly run the furnace without having to use ice all of the time, although obviously I still do need to go and gather a whole load of nitrous, because that's my only source of oxidizers, and we do not have enough gas in the overall system yet. These are also still sad, but at least we fixed the filters so we know why they're sad. I need some, again, another reason I need some alerting in place, so that in future that is not a problem. Right. That is a sensible enough place to stop though, so let's do that. Let's have a quick drink. I'm not going to cook the last potato yet. That's something for next time. Just quickly flick that over just in case. I don't want anything that could impact the growth of those plants. That locker absolutely is moving in a future episode, and that piece of blue wall is absolutely being dealt with. But not this time. So that's all for this time. I hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you on the next episode. Bye for now.